What is happening, you beautiful people? Welcome back to day 763. We have done around 24 sales in 24 hours, one of them being a multi-quantity order of 2. We worked out that it is about £175 on Vinted and about £600 on eBay. We've had a pretty solid day. Let's get into showing you what's sold. So the first item that sold is a pair of these Timberland boots. I was a little impatient, and obviously with the weather coming up, we probably could have got a little bit more, but they are a UK size 5. But with Timberland, you're always looking for the bit where it says waterproof underneath the symbol. These always demand a higher value normally and a better sell-through. I was a little impatient, and I think sometimes with the shoes, in footwear in general, we have limited space for footwear. And also because of the way that I source them from my contact, I only pay £5 a pair. So I am actually a little bit easier when it comes to offers. I just accept a lot of them because in my shed at home, I have about 200 pairs of shoes ready to be processed, cleaned and listed. However, I've pretty much run out of space, bar maybe like space for 20 here. So I pretty much just get them in and out as quickly as I possibly can, to be honest. So next up, super quickly, this is a DeWalt hat. DeWalt, we picked these up from a charity shop for 50p a piece. We probably get around £5 profit, maybe four to £5 profit on each one of these. And currently we've sold 10. Which means we're at 40 and we pay 45 for all of them. And we still have around 80 odd left. So if we can get through these pretty quickly, we're gonna make some pretty good money. So next up we have this Bowden jumper. I believe they're called the Eddie or Eddie style. I have sold one with ducks on it, and I have sold, this is what got apples all over it, I believe. And there are lots of different patterns with these. It's a Fair Isle style type ones. These jumpers fly, especially this time of year. Unfortunately for us, I think we picked it up for like £8 on Vinted. The issue with this one was the condition wasn't great, so there was some pilling or bubbling, and to be honest with you, some of the fabric in general looked like it had been brushed, so it didn't look fantastic. So we took a lesser deal on this one. I think we got 37 all in for this one. Obviously I offer free postage, and then obviously you've got your fees and your promotions, so we probably got about £30 back for this. But yeah, it's a fantastic jumper, and this style of jumper is definitely worth looking out for in these types of brands like Bowden. Next up we have this Bowden jumper. I think it's called the Lucinda, or I can't remember. You'll see it in the title there. This is a striped knitted cotton jumper. It's not actually like particularly desirable as far as I could tell online. We priced it at 35. It's sold on Vinted for 32, and I have another one exactly the same as this for the same price in a different color, and it didn't garner anywhere near as much interest. I picked this up for £7 all in on Vinted. So next up we had this Rab puffer jacket. This is women's. It sold for £37.50. I probably could have got a little bit more for it, but some of the padding had been moved around in there, and I ain't got time for tennis balls and all that sort of stuff. I do it with some things, but sometimes I just can't be bothered. We get it listed, we get it gone. This would have cost £12 or £13.69, sorry, all in on Vinted. And it sold relatively quickly for £37.50 on eBay. So next up we have another Rab jacket, basically the same as the last one, and the condition was pretty much the same as well in terms of having some padding issues moving around, etc, etc, and we accepted an offer of £35 on this one. So next up we have a Celtic & Co knitted jumper. This one had some holes in the sleeve, unfortunately. We picked it up maybe 2 weekends ago for £3 at the car boot, and this sold for £35 even with the holes, so I can't complain of that, to be honest with you. Celtic & Co, if you've got the big knitted stuff, potentially some patterns and all that sort of stuff, they do really well, but the big knitted chunky jumpers, that's where it's at. Next up we have some denim Toast dungarees. These are fantastic, absolutely pucker from Toast. They sold for £50 on Vinted. Now, what I will say is there is some holes on the knees, and there is a little bit of a wearing issue on the pocket. I have stated that they have these, I have pictured them, and in the description I have written that I didn't know whether they were intentional holes that were made in there. Toast don't really do this sort of thing, so I'd imagine not. But in the description I wrote that I didn't know if they were intentional, distressed look, or whether they were just holy. But from a stylistic point of view, they look quite cool. And they sold for £50 very quickly on Vinted. Again, wouldn't have paid more than £15 on Vinted for these, and a super quick sell for it. So next up, this is the banger of the day, or the bolo of the day, or the big winner of the day. This is a Polo Ralph Lauren modern. It is a, I believe, downfield jacket. It's insulated, it's like a big puffer. It is navy and black camo. We picked this up for £5 from a car boot. It did take a little bit of time to sell, maybe like a month or so, but we got £100 for this. It's a fantastic pickup, fantastic brand. Obviously, there are some nuances within Ralph Lauren. Inside of the reseller group, we have done a deep dive into Ralph Lauren, and there's some incredible knowledge in there, and we really drafted out the things that sell well. And obviously, we've looked at the modern and the vintage stuff, and this obviously is a staple. Big puffer jackets, and I think even yesterday we sold a padded gilet that was mashed like condition wise and still sold for 30. So some of the puffers and stuff like that for Ralph Lauren do very well. Next up, we have some Akai trousers. These sold for £30. Again, Akai, we've spoken about it lots of times. We're really coming into the season now for Akai. Walking, hiking, winter, they're thermal, some of them. Some of them have the fleece line, they're the ones you're looking for. So yeah, fantastic brand at this time of year. Next up, we have this Woolovers cardigan. It is everything you want, like I said earlier with the Bowden. It's a very similar style. This has got sheep on it, it's got birds on it. It's a cardigan, it's lamb's wool. Unfortunately, it only sold for 27, was it? 26 £26. If this was a Bowden, it would be 35 to 45 all day long. So the brand let it down a little bit, but the style and the pattern is absolutely what you are looking for. Next up, we have a Sahara top. It's like a turtleneck, round neck, roll neck. It is linen and bamboo. It's sold for £30. It's not the most Sahara. It does have the texture, which a lot of them do like for some reason, that little texture there. It's not going to break the bank. It's fantastic. Yeah, it does what it does. Next up, we have some super dry cargo shorts. They sold for £17.50. I missed the sale on these in the correct season, but they've still sold. In fact, I think we've sold another pair of shorts as well today. I'll have a look at those in a minute. I think it was some Paul and Shark ones. But yeah, we picked these up for £3 at the car boot. When you're looking for super dry, you are looking for the cargo shorts, the heavyweight ones, the big military pockets and stuff like that. But obviously we are coming out of season of it now, so I think I had them listed at 32. Somebody offered me £17.50. I took it. Let's get rid of them. I don't want to hold them for the next 6 months until the summer comes back again. Same deal with these, really. This is the Paul and Shark shorts. They sold for £23. We've had them for a little while. Again, missed the boat with these. I picked these up for £3 at the charity shop as well. So yeah, realistically, probably could have got closer to 30, however, missed the season. Next up, another pair of Akai trousers. They sold for £30. I've told you about them already. I don't need to go into it again. They just sell for 30 to 35 quite regularly, again, as I've proven already. Next up, we have some Sahara trousers. These are wide leg. They're everything you want from Sahara except for the material. So these are viscose. They're super lightweight, which means they're like probably more summery. Linen and viscose are more summery, and then cotton and wool you can argue are slightly more like mid to winter. These sold for 25 on Vinted. Not a fantastic sale. If these were linen, you'd be looking at 35 plus. So next up, we have this Armani jacket. I paid £10 at a car boot for this, along with a Hugo Boss one. This is 100% linen. It's an anniversary for 30 years or something like that, I believe. We had it listed at 55-ish, and it's sold for £40 on offer. I don't pick up a huge amount of Armani stuff anymore, but the jeans still do pretty well, and some of the cool jackets like this is very like utility. It's got pockets and everything like that. It's a really nice jacket. Armani still does do pretty well, but yeah, you just got to pick the right pieces. So next up, we have a Barber wax jacket. This is the Game Fair. This is pretty much what you're looking for when it comes to Barber. The Game Fair, the Beaufort ones are pretty good. Obviously with Barber, they have a lot of the names inside, and you're looking for mainly wax jackets. This has taken a little bit of time to sell. Again, weather probably doesn't help, and this sold for $69.99. Next up, we have a toast top. These sorts of styles of toast are not toasty. This has got patterns, it's lightweight, it's not what you want from toast. However, I am still a firm believer that you can sell non-toasty toast. There is a market for it. You just have to pay less money for it. So this was a £5 purchase, which would have come out at £7.59, something like that. And it sold for £30. It didn't take long at all to sell. There is a market for non-toasty toast, but obviously it's going to take longer and you're not going to get as much value. Next up, we have another Rab item. Was it the two puffers that were Rab earlier? It was, yeah. So we've got another Rab item. This is sold for $39.99. Normally the fleeces don't go for as much as the puffer jackets, so maybe I need to start buying puffer jackets that don't have issues. That would help. But this is a fantastic fleece, sold for $39.99. It is men's, and it has the name on it. So lightweight, it's fleecy, it's all the good stuff you want from Rab, outdoor gear, all that jazzy wazzy. We all know Rab at this point. Banging. Next up, we have a Range jacket. Rains has massively fallen off, massively. It used to be in demand, it used to be popular. It is no longer. This is taking ages to sell and it's off £25. It is not a good item. The bags probably still do quite well, but in terms of the coats, these coats used to do 30 to 35 all day long. They are now currently doing 20 to 25 at a push, if you can find somebody that wants one. So yeah, definitely not the best one anymore. And what I will say as well is that I know, like, when you're watching like a lot of YouTube channels and you see a lot of people like throwing banger sales out left, right and center, just remember that they do also have days like today. For instance, I think there's been the barber jacket, which I would have paid somewhere around the 15 to 20 pound mark, and it sold for 70. And like the only good one really, like in terms of big profit, is the Ralph Lauren puffer jacket, which was a £5 car boot pickup, and I got it £100 for that. But a lot of resellers don't show you the nitty gritty, boring 25 to 35 pound sales. And just remember that is a consistent of most reselling businesses. Is just the bread and butter makes the business what it is. Now, saying that, Ralph Lauren cable, is this the cable knit? It is the cable knit. These used to be popping. I tried to jump in the hype. We missed the boat a little bit on these. They were popping on Vinted for a little while. This sold for £15, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. I believe they were both priced at around 40, and we took an offer to make it 70 for the pair. This one is an Oshka skirt. It is not what you want from Oshka. Skirt's not particularly great. If these Gudrun wide leg linens were Oshka, we'd be asking £45. But because it's a skirt, not so much. And because this is only Gudrun, we were asking £40, and we accepted whatever it makes, 35 to make it 70. So we have earned a nice little double order, £70 on Vinted, no fees. Right, so that was the final sale of today. Just a little bit of a clarification on the value and stuff that we put on these. Obviously, we've said it's like 800, 700, whatever it was today. But obviously, because we do some of the videos at like 9 a.m. in the morning, we do count those sales on this. So for instance, it'll be like 7 a.m. yesterday to 7 a.m. today. So when we're counting up the value, that's where we're counting up the value for the whole of yesterday and then today. So it is probably slightly skewed because of some of the ways that we do it. But we're trying our best to give a good representation of what we're going to be doing every day. But at the moment, things are going relatively smoothly, and we're making, well, we're at least selling like 500 to 800 pounds worth of items a day, which is really good. But just remember, a lot of people's days is just the bread and butter 30 to 35. Obviously, we play up to the big bolos like I did with the Barbie set, and then yesterday with the little control units. So like, you've got to get people interested. But a lot of everybody's business is just bread and butter. Thank you very much for everybody who's watching. Please subscribe. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite sale, and check out the reseller group.